Today's conversation, we will first be looking at a bit of the information with Beatrice, and then we will be having a panel discussion with Valentine, Alain, Melissa, and hopefully James, if he manages to solve some connectivity issues, about the findings. So without further ado, I think, Beatrice, please feel free to take it away.
Excellent, thank you, Bernardine. Hello, everyone. I wanted to just start by explaining these reports a little more. As Bernardine said, we had 300 collectors answer a number of questions about everything in their collecting journey. And there was one report by Lindsay on the finances behind collecting side, and then I wrote this special report on global collector trends, and that focused very much on the profile of these collectors, who they were, what art and what periods they collected, and also what their drivers for collecting was. Another focus of this particular report was collectors' relationships with museums, with artists, and technology. So just to let you know, for the purposes of this report, we did divide collectors into different age groups, so the under 50s and the over 50s, also into different regions, so US, UK, Europe, and the rest of the world. And thirdly, into types of collectors, so leisurely collectors, avid collectors, and professional collectors. And by that, we mean advisors, dealers, corporate collectors, or any other for-profit collectors. So what were the main findings of this global collectors report? The first one was actually that a very significant majority were very keen buyers of art. 88% were active buyers, and they were also keen sellers, not as much because that was at 59%. Of the collectors who were selling. The young collectors were especially active in the market. We also found that collectors collected in line with their times. So under 50s collected 21st century art for the main part, and over 50s collected more 20th century art. Another key finding was that collectors were fairly evenly split between those who are investment driven and those who are not. The young, interestingly enough, tended to be more investment driven than the older generation. And that was actually regardless of whether they were professional collectors or not. On relationships with museums, we found that the under 50s tended to find museums not nearly as approachable as the over 50s. But paradoxically, it was the younger generation who actually wanted to engage much more. They wanted to lend, they wanted to donate more than the older generation. The last very interesting finding was that the collectors who responded to this survey who were investment driven were keener to both lend and donate artworks to museums compared to those who were not so investment driven. And actually the same happened with those who embraced technology. It was those who were technology savvy who were keener to engage with museums than those who were not so technology savvy.